Hi guys, this week we had a little bit of rain, not a great amount, but we did have some. We got kind of drizzle for a couple of days and then we had a bit heavier on Thursday and Friday. I can't say it's like soaked to the borders, but it definitely did just help revive everything a little bit. And it meant that the temperature was a little bit lower, so I could actually get on with a good amount of work, which was great. Mainly just clearing borders again this week. The next couple of weeks are going to start being really busy for me. I start making my reef backs next week, and then beginning of September we start planting the seeds for the hardy annuals, and then beginning of October we start planting out all the bulbs. So the next sort of 6 to 8 weeks is going to be really busy. So any work I can do of clearing any borders and getting everything as much under control now, it's just going to really take the pressure off going into October, November kind of thing. So today's job is to get this border here tidied up, ready for starting to plant the Sweet Williams. I have weeded it once or twice, but I kind of let it go because it just got so dry kind of thing. So today I'm going to get it tidied up, going to add in a bit of compost, and then hopefully in the next week or two the Sweet Williams will be ready to get planted up. So I've given it a good weed. It's not quite as soft as I would have ideally liked it to be able to dig in the compost, but we have got more rain this afternoon, so fingers crossed. So today it's meant to be raining, however it's not actually that wet. It was actually wetter yesterday than it is today, so not really sure what happened there. But I have left picking out to do today. It's a bit cooler, so I'm able to actually stand in the tent today, and I'm picking out my sweet rocket ready for next year, and I'm picking out double to what I had for this year, and the plan is to put a whole border of sweet rocket over in the second field just to try it out. I find that sweet rocket doesn't like to be over dry. I find it likes to have a good amount of moisture, so I'm not sure how well it will do in the other field. So I'm going to grow enough in this field, and then the second field is just going to be like a backup and a bit of a tester to see how well it does over there for future kind of years. One of the things I've wanted to do for a very long time now is to make some extra compost space. We only have 4, and as the field has grown, we're not utilising the amount that we could be composting, and therefore we ended up buying in, which is just ridiculous. So one of the things I really want to concentrate on is to compost every single scrap that I can. It's a bit of a mission, but my dad, bless him, is now trying to make 4 extra compost bays behind. That will give us 8. I think that will probably work. That'll probably be enough. We'll see. But yeah, so that'll be great. So we've got a bit of a backlog at the moment because I'm clearing the borders, but we haven't had a chance to actually make the new ones. And the 4 we've got are currently full. I've just got piles in the borders. So that's why when you look around, you can see piles of stuff. It's actually just waiting to go on the compost. So yeah, but it'll be so much better once we've got the 8 compost space and we can start really getting to grips with it. And I think that will just really improve the efficiency of the farm as well. So I've nearly got these 2 borders finished. These have been a bit of an ongoing project. I've just got a little area here. It's a really nasty stinging nettle to come down with the thicker gloves and get out, and same at the other end there. But these 2 borders in the next couple of weeks, beginning of September, these are going to have direct sown nigella, possibly some cornflower and larkspur. So yeah, so I really wanted to get these borders back to rye, and we had that bit of rain which softened the soil a bit. I have given them a little water as well, because I need the soil to start getting back to right over the next week or 2, ready to plant up. But also I want the weeds, because there were so many weeds in here, I want them to grow up so I can weed it before I direct sow it. Otherwise all the weeds are going to come up at the same time when I direct sow it, and that's just going to be an absolute nightmare. These 5 borders are having a big change up in the next year as well. These valerian will eventually be going over to my second field because they're extremely drought tolerant. I was watering them every 2 to 3 days and they were surviving absolutely fine. So they'll be perfect over in that field. The oxide daisies will be moving to my second field as well. The plan was to grow some new ones and plant over there, but I've tried 3 times, 3 lots of seed trays, and haven't got any of them to germinate because of the heat. So that might have to be in like 2 years time, we'll have to see. These guys will be going, these osprums. I haven't used them much this year, and I don't think I'm going to bother growing them next year. That gives me a whole extra border then to grow for something else. And I wasn't in love with the feverfew, didn't really love it at all, but it is perennial, so I have decided to cut it back and see if it does survive the winter. And then maybe it's something here that I can just use quickly. But yeah, I wasn't a great lover of it at all. The Achillea summerberry will stay here for next year. I tend to replant my Achillea summerberry every other year. So again, I'm going to do another whole border in the second field because these guys are really drought tolerant as well. I've cleared back the other border of lupins. You can see how much bigger these are. So the lupins in the other border are dwarf lupins. These are Russells, so they're much bigger. The plants are much bigger, but they don't produce that many more flowers, which is why I decided to grow the dwarf ones rather than the big ones, because you're actually getting more flowers on the dwarf ones in comparison. I thought there was about 5 plants here, but it looks like there's only about 3 that's actually survived. So yeah, I'm going to try and like plant up a few more of those as well. And then I cut back all the buddleia mint. I was hoping it might resprout, we might get like a few extra bits, but I don't think this section up here will. We are getting a few random bits down here, which is a little bit of a problem because it's kind of taken over this border, but I'm just going to start using these over the next week or 2 cutting, and then I think that's going to be a winter job to get the roots out. So other than the kind of little area up here, which is a little bit still really overgrown, and I've been trying to do like an hour a day before it gets hot, because there's so many stinger nettles and stuff that I am having to wear like thicker clothing for it. But other than that, the rest of it is looking really on top and pretty tidy, all things considering. So I'm pretty pleased with the way the field is at the moment. I don't feel like I'm too far behind, so that's good. azaleas that was eaten by the slugs and the voles, and you can see they've made a really lovely comeback now, and we've been picking from them over the last couple of weeks. They've really come into their own now. Warlock is still alive. Doing all right. Check this out. It's putting down some nice roots. That's what we want to see. These are the 5 echinaceas that I rescued from the other field, and they've all survived so far. And you can see, not all of them, but probably about 3 of them are now putting down some nice bit of roots. So they really are trying to fight back. So yeah, really chuffed with that. I think we've got them through the worst. So I've decided in the space of about 5 minutes that I am actually just going to rip up the feverfew. I just didn't like it. It didn't condition well for me. And yeah, just didn't like it. So it's going. Simple as that. There's a lot of bindweed in that border, so I've dug them out. Plants could go on the compost heap, but I do really need to come in, give it a really good weed and try and get out as much of that bindweed as possible. I've been desperately trying to get to this border to get these stinger nettles out. It's a bit of a mission and they're really big, but it's been so hot and you ideally need to be wearing something a bit more protective than just a t-shirt when you're dealing with this amount. Okay, that was like a really unpleasant 5 minutes, but we got there. We got them done. There's going to be a lot of root left because when stinger nettles get that big, their root system is just absolutely massive. So that's going to be an ongoing theme. But once these guys die back, stinger nettles don't tend to put their roots down low, but they tend to just go like out everywhere. So once these die back, I'll have to dig up even more of the stinger nettle root. Now the little bugs. It's so hot to be wearing this jacket. Those little bugs that you see, they're like these little like gnat things. They can't bite you, but when they swarm up, it's just really horrible to have them in your face. And I seem to have them a lot this year. And I don't really understand why, because it's so dry. So I'm presuming that they're just seeking out any bit of moisture they can. So any borders, like there's still be, you can't really let them get too dry. They're not really drought tolerant. So I think they've been particularly prone to it just because that's a border that I've probably been given a bit of extra water to. The next job is to start trying to tidy up these domes. They haven't been used all summer, and you can see the stinging nettles are really bad. The cardboard needs chucking away and fresh cardboard, and yeah, they just need to start being tidied up, ready for the autumn plants that will be going under there to be kept safe for winter. Alright, just have a bit of coffee and cake after that.